Hey guys, Coach Nick at Fort Worth Strong, running you through our week 6 correctives. We wrap up our workouts on Thursdays after we go through our running intervals. We spend 10-15 minutes running through a series of movements where we alternate or include some passive, just nice, easy static holds, stretches, and then we've got some active movements too, some things that will engage maybe some of these deeper muscles or things that we are utilizing pretty regularly, hopefully. But tools that we'll need today, we do have a series that involves a resistance band or a strap, something we'll use to help us get into a deeper stretch. I've got blocks here. You can use a ball, something small that we can use to trap between our thighs. And then for positions, we've got a box and then something secure like a wall that we're going to lay our legs against that it's not going to move. But we got 5 movements today. And again, we're going to alternate between a couple things, and it's going to make more sense as we go through it. First one, we're going to get set up on our back, legs rested against the box, somewhere to where our knees are about 90 degrees. And so we've seen this position before where we just kind of hang out here. This would be static back. Nice to settle in, let the hips kind of relax, get a good neutral position. But today we're going to be active with it. So instead of just resting, I'm going to drive my lower leg into the box. You notice when I do that, I get a little bit of a lift. So it's kind of that initial part if I was going to go into a bridge. I'm going to tuck my hips underneath so I get this posterior tilt. That way my lower back isn't arched as I go through this. And then you'll notice I've got a little bit of space now between me and the ground. Or if you don't, that's the goal here, is that we've got this space created, and then I tuck my hips and I'm engaged through my hamstrings, or engaged by lifting my hips with my hamstrings. 1 minute here, upper body's relaxed. Doesn't have to be a max tension thing. This is really just a nice little subtle lift. Good hip position, maintain that. Second, we're going to go into a hamstring stretch. So definitely utilize within our runs. We just kind of engage those. We got them real active through that hold. But with this stretch, I'm going to set this across the bottom of my foot closer to the heel. I'm going to extend that leg, but I'm going to go to my back. So one leg's rested, just extend it out in front. We'll start a little bit lower. So if you feel a stretch here, great. Doesn't have to be forced, but let's try to lock that knee out. And then as we settle into it, if we can start to get that leg up over the body a bit more, the more length we create. So we've got a high flexion at the hip, more length through the calf, the hamstring. As we breathe through this, we'll go a minute. Stretch on that right side, we'll switch. Extend the right leg. Now we've got a minute stretch on the left, where we slowly settle into this, create more length as we can. And then third, we will go into a setup on the wall. So now we have, getting ahead of myself. Another active one. So we're back on the box. Same setup as before. Now back and hips will stay on the ground. We're going to go through an adductor squeeze. So I'm going to put this between my thighs. Something that's going to keep my frame pretty short so my knees are still over my hips. I don't want some wide ball. We're going to go through 10 sets of this, which will total a minute. We're going to go 3 seconds of squeeze. Applying a good amount of pressure through that. Hold, and then a 3-second relaxed or rested position. And 3 seconds on, squeezing on those blocks. Tension between my inner thigh as I press. And then 3 seconds of rest. Again, going through 10 rounds of that, totaling a minute. So similar to the hamstring deal, we just got the adductors involved. Now we're going to stretch it out. So we're going to use this wall in this wall split. The closer we are, the more it'll likely get into the hamstrings. But if you're pretty flexible, you can get set up butt against the wall, legs out wide, or you can scoot yourself away a little bit. Might allow you to get deeper into that inner thigh and groin area. What we're targeting, a little bend in the knee is okay. If we can, though, lock it out. Nice wide base. We're going to hold here for 2 minutes. Settling into this is passive. So stay relaxed, focus on your breath. So that puts us through 4, our 5th and final one. We are actually staying on the wall, scooting ourselves away. So similar to that box, I went 90 degrees at the knee, put a little bit of pressure into the wall with one foot. I'm going to take that opposite leg, figure 4, by putting that ankle on the knee. My back's rested on the ground. And I'm just going to apply a little bit of pressure. So whether you use your hand to assist you, or if you get enough of a stretch here, great. But we should feel this in whatever leg is trapped over that knee. We'll feel that through the hip. So similar to kind of like a simple pigeon stretch. If you need a little bit more, you can get a little bit closer to the wall, as long as that back and those hips stay down on the ground. Apply a little bit of pressure, but we're gonna go a minute here on the right, minute on the left. Open up those hips a little bit. So we did a minute with the hamstrings engaged, where we do that little hip lift, create a little bit of space between you and the ground. After we get the hamstrings active, we'll go into a passive stretch. So we're using that band with that leg stacked over the body, 1 minute on each side there. Then we get the adductors involved, so we're back on the box. We're squeezing on that block, 3 seconds on, 3 seconds off. And then we go with the wall split, open up those legs. And then the final one was that figure 4 stretch, where we go a minute on each side. So quick, 8-10 minutes, and you'll be done.